Okay, it is really dark in here. Let me do something about that. Okay, it's still very dark in here. Sometimes no matter what I do. Alright, give me a sec. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. That'll do. So anyways, for those of you that are new here, my name is Rich Drezen, and this is Drezen Draws. I'm a cartoonist. I publish the webcomic and comic book series LuckyZilla. It is about to end its weekly run. It's published online. And we also have a board game that we made off of it. Why don't I just do the ads first, because that's one of the most important things. I do birthday parties and corporate events. You can message me for more details or visit drezenmedia.com. Let me get my microphone more in front of me, so that this way I don't have to worry about whether or not the sound is being picked up. Oops. Okay, there we go. So let's see, what else do we got? Still plentifully available is the board game that you saw just a few moments ago. LuckyZilla the game. It's fun for kids and people of all ages. Still available is a celebration of LuckyZilla on Blu-ray disc or DVD, your choice. DVD is $15. The Blu-ray is 20. Sorry, and it features some of my earlier work. Become a patron on our Patreon, patreon.com/DrezenMedia. Just make sure the audio is recording properly. Okay. And, as previously mentioned, take flight. Feed your imagination and take flight with LuckyZilla Comics magazines. They're available on LuckyZilla.com. If you live in my development, you will not have to pay for shipping. You would just have to message me privately so that I know that that you live in my community. And what community that is, I will not say, because I like my privacy. So, anyways, let's see who I'm drawing, because I don't even remember. Oh yes, we're going to be drawing Gyro Gearloose from the Donald Duck and Uncle Scrooge comics. Introduced in 1952, I believe. Oh, good. We got model sheets. All right. Let's get on the draw cam. You may have seen or heard of Gyro Gearloose if you saw the cartoon DuckTales, like I did growing up. second, and I will start drawing. I'm the only guy doing this, so, you know how that goes. Let's see. Let's maybe do a warm-up pose, so I can get comfortable drawing the character. Yeah, I love when I can find model sheets like that. Model sheets basically are a guide that an artist specifically... Let's think in terms of Disney. Disney model sheets for their characters are, like, incredibly detailed. And in some cases very precise. Because there's a certain Disney standard that, that Disney adheres to. They want all their characters to look like that character. And they're very stringent about it, because Walt Disney was very stringent about that. One of the rival studios, the Hanna-Barbera studio, also was very precise in the way that its characters look. Some of the greatest character designers in the world worked for Hanna-Barbera. And Hanna-Barbera was not one person. It was a combination of William Hanna and Joseph Barbera, who for MGM created the cat and mouse duo Tom and Jerry. Gyro is an inventor, and according to Uncle Scrooge, at times a bit of a bird brain. I mean, should it be any accident that that he is a bird in a world full of ducks? I think not. Let's see, what am I going to have this guy and the other character doing? That's a very good question. Oh, I think I know. As you see here, this model sheet was... It doesn't have a name on it, but Carl Barks created and originally designed this character, who was introduced in the Uncle Scrooge and Donald Duck comics back in 1952. The year my dad was born. His hair kind of looks like a nest, so that's kind of what I'm gonna be keeping in the back of my mind as I'm drawing him, in case I start to lose the what's the word I'm looking for? In case I start to go a little off course, I'm just like, oh no, he's a bird brain, so think about it in terms of, you know, what does a bird sleep in? A nest, generally speaking. I'm not going to have him happy, I'm going to have him surprised. And you'll see why. It's nothing dirty, but... it's going to be something funny, I think. Maybe at least to me. Sometimes I can have a one-track mind. I find a lot of things funny that some people are just like, why on earth do you find that funny? I never think of things like that. Well, not everyone is creative, so what can I tell you? Uh-oh. I'm sorry, Michelle. I took too long to get started. Carve out the body a little bit. And also because I am drawing in Adobe Illustrator, I have the luxury of being able to move some things around. Now let me figure out the rest of the body before I put the head back on. Sorry, Gyro, for temporarily decapitating you. His body kind of is shaped like a lantern in a way. Vest. See certain cartoon characters drawn with like these figure eight shaped shoes, but when you look at your actual foot from a shaping perspective, it I guess kind of makes sense. I'm trying to get my foot on camera. Never mind, just take my word for it. I've been drawing cartoons since I was 3. I've been drawing cartoons since DuckTales first came on TV. And yes, there was a new DuckTales in 2017 that ended just last year. It was a good show. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but, you know, at the same time, you know, if cartoons were perfect, I don't know. And there would be no need to ever discuss them. Let me move this neck over a little bit. It kind of looked like it was just hanging off the back of his shirt collar. So let's fix that. We want to line it up a little bit center. Kind of get that exaggerated collar going on. Although if it were a sleeve, and you see how I'm gonna change my camera for a second, we're gonna see how the bottom of my sleeve hangs down. And this is something that I still struggle with to this day in drawing even my own characters, is if you want to maximize believability on characters, you gotta take from life as much as you can without getting bogged down by the need to be quote-unquote realistic. It's not about being realistic, it's about believability. If you are going for realism, then that's a whole different discussion. There we go. He doesn't wear gloves as far as I know. Oops. And I think he does wear gloves. He did in DuckTales. See, this is what I mean. You got the sleeve there. It's got to hang down a little bit because gravity. We also got to extend the forearm. Build up the muscle a little bit. Have that sag just a little bit. Gyro, the voice of Gyro Gearloose, was originally performed by Will Ryan in a brief, like 10-second clip in Sport Goofy and Soccer Mania. For the original DuckTales cartoon, he was voiced by the legendary Hal Smith. And in DuckTales 2017, he was voiced by Academy Award winner Jim Rash, who was a screenwriter as well. I believe I think he won in the documentary category. Alright, now let me see. Gonna hide that. Not that I have anything that's controversial on my computer, but sometimes you never know. If you show certain files on your screen, hackers might be able to get in there. It's possible. Anything is possible. Nope, nope, nope. Let's see. The other character that won tonight's voting is a cat named Milton. He's a very fluffy. He's a very fluffy bozo. He was seen in a handful of cartoons with Pluto. Didn't know the character had a name until about 10 years ago. Just had to make sure that this wasn't explicit. Oh, no, wait a minute. Milton, Disney. He's kind of like Figaro, but with raincoat pajamas. So I'm gonna be my weird self and have Milton sit in a bird's nest. Whoa, okay. Sorry about that. I am in no way, shape, or form a person that that has any biases, especially towards different cultures. But Epidemic Sound, I gotta call you out. If one of your songs is explicit and it doesn't have an E next to it, yeah, because there was a song that I just played that should have had explicit on it, and you know, that's a little disappointing. Yeah, from now on, I'm gonna do strictly instrumental. It's unfortunate. Yeah, that's really annoying when that happens. And that's something else that I would like to discuss briefly, because there was a free comic book day recently, and in particular at the Farmingdale Public Library. It is said that some kids walked away with an adult comic that was just put into a bag by the library staff or whomever, and let me get away from this so I can focus. The story I read was a comic called Fun Girl, which depicted a skateboarding young lady, was placed in free comic book day bags that were handed out at local library, the Farmingdale Public Library. And supposedly it was either A, a totally adult comic, or B, pornographic. Now, the fabric of my industry was disturbed quite violently in the 1950s with the release of a book called Seduction of the Innocent by Dr. Frederick Wortham. And it launched an incendiary attack on comic books. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to happen again as a result of someone's inability to check what was being put in those bags that were handed out to children, but I think it's less about, you know, who's to blame, because it's obvious who's to blame. It's a combination of the parents not checking what's being given to their kids, the library for not checking what's in these bags, the comic distributors for not checking what's getting sent to the library, and the advertisers who are paying for all this stuff because, you know, free comic book day. Somebody pays for it. It's not the people that ultimately get the comics, it's a whole lot of other things. And because they think it's because it's free, it's like, you know, just throw it away. But not when this happens. And I think the father who raised this issue did absolutely the right thing. Now, I have done animation, and I've done a handful of comics that use expletives. But if that were the case, I put warning labels on it. I do not let children look at them. I'm like, no, sorry, not till you're older. But I think it's also, you know, where do you go from here? You got to talk to your children. And if your kids are playing violent video games and they're getting upset by them or whatever, I think one of the best things you can do as a parent is to monitor, and maybe not quite like a mother hen, but just, you know, to be informed about the media that your children are consuming. It's good to be proactive about that sort of stuff. Milton is more or less a chubby version of Figaro. Oh, these cats. I love them. But they are so weird. Whoa. I did not mean to do that. I'm not 100% sure, but I would imagine because Disney had a really great comic line going, and still do, just not so much in the US, where they took even their most obscure characters and featured them in comics. You'll still find comics of this type over in Europe. Alright, let's save before we go further. Always save if you're working digital. I mean, there is that old expression, computers crash, paper doesn't, which I think is cute at best. Can't draw perfect circles. But I can draw them well enough. And this brand of tablet that I use, Wacom, has pressure sensitivity settings. That's why the lines look the way that they do, because I'm pressing a certain way, and then I'm releasing some pressure, and then pressing harder when I want thicker lines like this. But quite honest, I'm not 1,000% how to do all of this with, like, let's say, a physical brush. Go. We have inked Gyrogearlos. Gyrogearlos. Sorry. I've been up since 4:45 this morning, can't you tell? Milton. Thick Figaro. It's really the best way to describe Milton. I think what we're going to do something I don't do very often is just fix a thing on the fly. Because we can't really line this, this, and this because the pose has kind of changed a little bit. not the same as fur. We want to get some cross-hatching in there. Give more the illusion of sticks. If its hair kind of curves a little bit more up and down, up and down. This, if you're thinking in terms of sticks, I mean, you gotta look at a stick and look at the way that it points. Keep the line stiffer. And the weight matters too. Whereas with some hair you can kind of... Whereas a stick... It's hard to explain in words, but that's the best way I can explain it. By doing. You walk around the neighborhood, pick up a stick. And for those of you who say you can't even draw a stick figure, well, you don't necessarily have to draw stick figures, but you can draw a stick. I want to fill in any of these gaps that I see, because what I'm going to start doing next is coloring. And if there are too many gaps, the colors won't read. Now I can color in Photoshop too, and I see a lot of artists that prefer to do that, but I prefer to stick with Illustrator, because if you want to get the coloring just right in Photoshop, you can have like almost no stray pixels. And because I work in vector in Illustrator, it's not really something that I have to worry about. I got almost all of what I wanted to. And then we can go through after we've colored and add more sticks to the pile. Okay, there we go. Have we done the same for gyro? I think we... no, we haven't. That's okay. Let's get rid of the rough since they're no longer necessary. I'm going to do Shift Control D. Shift Command D if you're on a Mac. Now let's pick out a good sticks color. That should be... you know what? I want to go with grayer sticks. No, not quite that. Maybe that. Some tree bark that you look at has got like a gray tone to it. Take from life. Sometimes it's as simple as just picking up a stick, man, you know? add more sticks in a little bit. Consistency. Oops. Let's just make sure I got no strays or anything. It doesn't appear that I do. I really need to add that many more sticks? Not really. Just enough to give us a little extra texture. Sometimes simplicity is the thing. I pressed the wrong button. Yeah, I think we're about there. Where do I sign? There we go. Have a quick look at that. I get some things situated around here. You got a cat looking in on me, supervising. So yeah, I offer birthday parties and corporate events. Message me to learn more. I have a board game available that is based on my webcomic and comic book series, LuckyZilla. Feed your imagination and take flight with them on luckyzilla.com or drezenmedia.com. You can also get to it that way. Whoops. You can become a patron of mine on Patreon at patreon.com/drezenmedia. And available on Blu-ray disc and DVD. Oh, excuse me. I'm not commenting on the discs. I'm just really tired. Oops. LuckyZilla Blu-ray and DVD discs. Celebration of LuckyZilla, featuring my earlier work, including the award-winning LuckyZilla cartoon Atomics. So, I'm Rich Drezen. This is the 115th episode of Drezen Draws. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Until then, stay drawsome.